let's talk a little bit about the Apple Pay Later feature, because this could be pretty disruptive in the world of fintech and this movement from the physical wallet to an Apple Wallet. What did you make of the significance of this announcement?
I think the core of it is that it's going to be so much easier for people that use Apple Pay to just use that as a default versus using the plethora of other options that you have in the market. It's about integration. It's about taking away every little bit of friction that you have in the experience. And to be honest with you, something that I was expecting Apple to do sooner or later is, we've seen it with Apple Card and Apple Pay developing more and more in becoming useful for small businesses and more way to use it for consumers.
And it's something that, Mark Gurman had actually reported was coming. And today, of course, was the big unveil. But isn't it kind of a big deal if anywhere they take Apple Pay, you can pay for it later?
It is.
You don't have to put all the money down right away.
Absolutely. And even if it's just a 6 weeks window, so it's not really a long period of time, it's roughly what you do with the credit card payment. Mm-hmm. And so for people that maybe have more problems getting credit checked for credit card, this could be a better way to do it.
Now, one thing we didn't see today was really any clues about augmented and virtual reality. And of course, Bloomberg, Mark, has reported this big AR/VR headset is coming. There was a thought we might get some clues as to what Apple's vision here is really going to be. And I was kind of stretching for it in some of those videos. I was like, is that a sign? But we didn't really see that. I mean, what do you make of the fact that they're just not ready to show us what they have
I think there are a couple of things. One is that nobody's really rushing to get hands and experiences on AR from a consumer perspective. So the market isn't really screaming for one. And the other one is that for Apple, there's a lot of opportunity in the market today on the Mac and the iPad as it is. And so I think that it's taking advantage of what really the low-hanging fruit of now are versus trying to maybe get out there too early.
So, Mark Gurman just said that he doesn't think the chip is necessarily going to be that transformational when it comes to the hardware. What do you think?
I think what the silicon does is showing that Apple is way more in control of their own destiny than they were before. And so even the fact that we've seen the MacBook Pro 13-inch coming out now so quickly with the M2 after we've seen a release of the M1 just a few months ago shows that the pace of innovation, both from a hardware perspective and software, can be more rapid than it was before.
And isn't it kind of a shot across the bow at Intel and AMD?
Is putting more pressure in the market, and I think that's good at the end of the day for consumers.
What do you think was most significant about the software in general? I think a lot of folks look at some of these announcements and say, well, that's kind of iterative. It's not a huge leap forward, when really isn't the goal, A, to just, give you more reason to upgrade your devices, and B, bring this family of devices
Absolutely.
more closer together.
Yeah, and I think that last point that you just made for me was really critical. The fact that better together, that we hear a lot from the Android camp, Apple really is delivering. And even the fact that you now can use, for instance, your iPhone as your camera for your Mac, or the fact that the iPad become an extra screen for your Mac. It really shows that the more devices you have, the more you have a benefit with Apple. And the other part, I think, is also looking at the monetization that Apple has as an opportunity for services, and in seeing how these devices coming together offer more opportunity to them to do so.
So here's the big question. We are going into very tough economic times. You just, Elon Musk saying he has a super bad feeling about the economy, laying off 10% of staff. Jamie Dimon saying we're in for an economic hurricane. Are people going to be spending on new devices right now, and we're expecting a slew of new Apple devices in the fall, when they can't afford gas and groceries?
So from an iPhone perspective, you've always seen across all the recessions that we've had, the mobile piece always staying strong because it's so critical to what consumers do throughout their day. And I think that is even more so today than it was maybe in the recession of 2000, 2008. So the phone part, I think, is pretty consistent. for our devices, and maybe that's where the reality headset, the AR headset would have been more of a stretch, because we still don't know what we want to do with those kind of devices, what the return of investment in. But at the end of the day, our life is more digital today than it's ever been. And if there's something that we've seen during COVID, is the need for more computing power.